Good morning. Today we are on the topics of collision theory. Collision theory explain the how reactant molecule collides. It explains by using the kinetic theory of gases also. For the reaction of reactant molecules, according to collision theory, they should have to be collides, and for collision they should have sufficient amounts of energy. Thus the sufficient amount of energy molecule may have, and sometimes if low amount of activation energy is there, then they can be provided by external sources also, so that molecules can be collides. So inherent properties means some molecules having his own activation energy, that molecule can easily collides and give the perfect collisions, and if they are perfect collision, then there is a formation of the product. Some molecules provided with external activation energy and with the proper orientation, they can also collides and give the product formations. Means the collisions is of its inherent property also, and it can be provided externally so that they can be collides. So the merits of, we are on the topics of the merits of the collision theory. Collision theory successfully explain the effect of temperature on the reaction rates, because we are providing the temperatures, means the temperature is one of the form of the energy. We are providing energy, we are providing the temperature to the reacting molecules, means we are providing the energy to the reacting molecules, and this energy as activation energy to the reacting molecules, and they can collides in proper orientations and give the products. So the this is all explained by the collision theory. Hence collision theory successfully explain the effect of the temperature on the reaction rates. Next point of the merits of the collision theory is collision theory successfully explain the variation of the weight with temperatures by gaseous bimolecular reactions, and some reaction is involving the simple molecules. In such cases, calculated and experimental value of the rate constant match with each others. In the last lecture we have discussed the bimolecular reactions, collision of bimolecular reaction. In that we have studied the effect of mass of the molecule also, and along with the mass, effect of temperature is also. So these two parameters are studied, means the effect of mass and the effect of temperature is explained by the collision theory. Next point is the rate of the gaseous unimolecular reaction can be qualitatively explained using the collision theory. In the earlier lecture we have studied the calculation part, and then in that we have studied the unimolecular reactions also. So the gaseous unimolecular reaction, gaseous bimolecular reaction, and using the kinetic theory of the gases, we have studied the collision of the molecules and effect of on the collision of the molecules we have studied. This is the merit of the collision theory. Next point of the collision theory is the It is a very simple theory. It is the very simple theory to apply and provide easy calculation rates. We have the simple formulas also to calculate the rate of the reactions, of the collisions, perfect collisions, sufficient amounts of the energy is there, so we can find out the rate of also. We know the temperatures, we know the weights, mass, we know the sigma factors, then we can easily find out the rate of the reaction. So it is a very easy methods, means it is a merit of the collision theory. By using these methods we can easily find out the rate of the reactions. It explains the exponential increase in the rate of the reactions. It explains the exponential increase in the rate of the reaction with a rise in temperatures. We have drawn the graph also that as the temperature increases, the rate of the reaction is also increases. Means the temperature and the rates or product formation is the similar in the directly proportional rates, because we in the previous lectures we have studied that there are provide two temperature T1 and T2. T2 is the greater than T1s, then at that time rate of the T2 is greater than the T1s. We have studied this part also. So it is a simple way, that is it is merit of the collision theory, and it is give the explanation that as the temperature increases the rate of the reaction is also increases. Next is the drawback or failure or demerits of the collision theories. The first point is the theory is applicable for only simple reactions in the gaseous state. This is a big drawback, because as we studied there are many types of reactions. Some are the reactant molecules are in liquid state, some cases liquid and gaseous state, some state solid and liquid state, some state solid and gaseous states. So there are variety of the reactant molecules, they may be in the various states, but collision theory only explain the gaseous molecules, because it is works on the gaseous and the kinetic theory of the gases. So it explains only gaseous states reactions. So it is the big drawback of the collision theory of the gases. The calculation value of the rate constant match with the experimental value only for the simple bimolecular reactions. For other reactions involving the large complex made calculation, experimental values do not match with the corresponding calculation values. So this is also one of the drawback, that the calculation part and the experimental values should be matched. So in case of the gaseous bimolecular reactions, only the experimental values and the practical experimental value and the theoretical values, both values are match. But in case of unimolecular reaction, the calculation value and the experimental value do not match. This is the drawback. Next, there is no method for the determining. Next point of the drawbacks, there is no method for determination of the steric factor for reactions where rate constant has not been determined experimentally. So there is no methods for the determination of the steric factors, means the steric reactions, steric hindrance, all these factors, there is no method to determine in case of collision theory. So reactions where the whose the rate constant has not been determined experimentally. So in that case It is also one of the drawbacks. Next, as per the collision theory, only the kinetic energy of the as per the collision theory, as per the collision theory, only kinetic energy of the colliding molecules contribute the energy required to overcome the energy barriers. The contribution of rotational of the vibrational energy has been ignored. Next drawback of this is the no remark on the process such as the bond breaking and the bond formations in any chemical reactions. Means there is no remark, means there is no discussion about the bond breaking and bond formations. This cannot be explained on this collision theory of the gases. This is also one of the drawback of this theory. As per the collision theory, only kinetic energy of the colliding molecule contribute the energy required to overcome the energy barriers. The contribution of the rotational or vibrational energy has been ignored because the molecule has the several types of energy: rotational energy, vibrational energy, translational energies. All these energies are helpful for the molecules to collide and approaches to near to each other. But in case of the gaseous molecules, only kinetic energy of the colliding molecule is considered, and only kinetic energy of the colliding molecule is helpful. So the without kinetic energy we cannot explain the this theory. Means this is the drawback of the collision theory of the gases. So this is all about the drawbacks of the demerits of the collision theory. It is applicable only for the gaseous state. The calculation part and experimental part of the unimolecular reactions or other reactions does not match, only match for the bimolecular reactions. And this is not helpful for the steric factors because the rate constant has not been determined experimentally. As per the collision theory, only kinetic energy of the gas is considered. Translational energy, rotational energy, vibrational energy cannot be considered in case of this. Next one is the no remark on the process such as the bond breaking and bond formations in the chemical reactions, because this is also a part of the reactions. So these all are the drawbacks of the collision theory of the gases. So tomorrow we will discuss the activated complex theory of the biomolecular reaction. We have studied the collision theory. Now the next one is the activated complex theory. We will discuss activated complex theory in the next lectures. So friends, we will meet in the next lecture. Thank you very much.